Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. In this video, I want to bust some myths around certain ways a few techniques are practiced. Before I get started, if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, you can book a session with me. If you're looking for weekly group coaching sessions, you can join my membership group. Both the links are in the video description. You can also follow me on Instagram for a regular dose of motivation. So there are a few misconceptions around the way affirmations and visualization, these two techniques are supposed to be practiced. A lot of people are teaching it this way. It's really something that needs to be addressed. Definitely separately, it is addressed, I'm sure, by all the genuine coaches in the coaching sessions. Even in my group coaching, I try to emphasize on this a lot. But I know there's a lot of content out there that put these misconceptions across in a way that this is how you need to do it. This is the correct way, or else you're doing the wrong way, so you won't get it. And you need to feel good when you're doing the techniques. By need to, I mean it should be something that's making you feel good and not making you feel resistance around the very fact that how am I doing these techniques? Am I doing it right or am I doing it wrong? Techniques are supposed to make you feel good by bringing you in a state where you are experiencing your desire in this present moment in your imaginal world. And if you have to micromanage your techniques, you are shifting your concentration and focus from experiencing that desire to simultaneously thinking, am I doing this technique right or wrong? And completely eliminating the whole point of why we are doing techniques. So the first misconception around affirmations is that if you're affirming regarding a specific person, I'm not talking romantically, any human being, you need to take their name or else your mind will not know that you're talking about them. And you cannot just say he is doing this for me or she is doing this for me, but you need to take their name. And I agree, your mind would not be able to understand whom you're talking about if your mind was something else, a separate entity outside of you. But fortunately or unfortunately, your mind is you. So the first thing you need to stop doing is treating your mind as a separate entity that you need to micromanage and that you need to give instructions to, that make sure it's this person. Your mind already knows who you're talking about. And how does it know it? Because your mind is you. Do you know who you're talking about when you're saying he or she instead of taking their name? If you know it implies to this person, your mind already knows that. Your mind is not separate from you. So no, you don't have to emphasize on their name each time. You can just say he or she. That's all. If taking their name feels better, it makes you feel something inside of you, then yeah, take their name. But that's not a definite way of affirming. And if you do not affirm this way, if you say he or she, it will not happen. That's a very, very big misconception. The second misconception around affirmations is that you need to do it in the present tense and you cannot have your sentences in the future tense. Now, this is one of those misconceptions that I'm happy a lot of people do talk about. It does not matter if you're affirming in the present tense or in the future tense. The main point of you affirming is, or you doing any kind of technique is, knowing that you're saturating your inner world with that experience and it's going to happen in the outer world very soon. We are in no way trying to become delusional that we have it here and we have it here too. That's not true acceptance of the point at which you are right now. There's a first point where you don't have it there and you don't have it here. Then you start to make a change and you start having it here by experiencing it more and more, and you don't have it here. And finally you reach the third point where you have it here and you have it in your external reality as well. Accept these three stages of manifestation and be okay with them. Affirming in the future tense is in no way going to keep your manifestation or desire in the future. That is just such a funny thing to say and such a funny misconception and myth to put on other people. There's no proper way of doing techniques. There's no one single way of doing techniques, and there are no written rules around doing techniques. The only role techniques play is bring you in a certain state, and that state means Similarly, how when you dream, your mind thinks that's very true and it's happening in real. You actually feel all the emotions when you're dreaming about something, whether it's a good dream or a bad dream. Similarly, when you come into a state of imagination, you can feel it real, which means this feels like it's happening right now. That's the only work techniques have to make you feel like you have your desire right now, to make you feel good. That's the only rule if you want to create any rules around practicing techniques. Practice techniques in a way where they are reducing your resistance. So if saying, I have it right now, I have it right now, it's here, she's here, I have the success, feels too much of a resistance, feels like what you're saying is wrong, feels like something untrue, you can simply say it's going to happen. I'm very sure, I believe it's coming very soon. It's happening any day now. It's on its way. And you're still going to get it. Changes will still happen. All my affirmations, all my self talk, my mindful internal dialogue is in the future tense. It does not matter. Lastly, coming to visualization, and should we visualize in first person or third person? People try to put a lot of rigid rules around this as well. It does not matter. Out of my experience, I visualize 50-50. It's almost like 50-50 in first person and in third person, and I still get everything I want. Because as I said earlier, your mind knows what you are implying. If you're imagining yourself in a third person, because that is something which comes naturally to your mind, it's easier than imagining in first person. Your mind still knows that's you and whoever you're imagining yourself with, because your mind is you. Some people say if you imagine in third person, someone else is going to get your manifestation, and that is just too funny to me. Someone else will get your manifestation if you're actually imagining someone else. You know it's someone else, you know, their face or whoever is in your imagination. If they are with the thing you want or the person you want. When you're imagining a scene with yourself in it and doing something or speaking to someone or with another person, your mind knows you're imagining yourself. So it does not matter. There's no rule around this that you have to imagine in first person or else you won't get it. Your mind is not stupid because you are not stupid, because your mind is you. So stop seeing your mind as something separate from you. If I say think about your mother right now, would your mind not know whom you're trying to think about? Do we have to take your mother's name? Do you have to give your mother's name to your mind? No, you know that we are talking about your mother. You can have your mother's face in your mind while you're talking about your mother. That's a very simple example to make you understand that your mind knows what you're implying and whom you're thinking about. So affirming by taking someone's name, affirming by saying he or she, affirming in the present tense, affirming in the future tense, visualizing in first person, visualizing in third person. None of these options are one better than the other. They're all the same and they all work in the similar way. I'll tell you what will make any of these options better and more effective for you is what makes you feel less resistance, what comes naturally to you, and what makes you feel good. That is your best option. So I really hope you found this video useful. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a great week.